Good afternoon, everybody. It is Tuesday, June the 2nd, and we certainly have been blessed with a beautiful day today. If I may borrow the lyrics from a popular song from a few years back, and just says, "It's a great day to be alive," and that truly is the case. We have just a beautiful day, and we should be thankful, and I'm sure we are thankful for that. Now, having said that, I want to transition to the topic of my comments today, and that is to look at a time in the life of David where he wasn't necessarily having the greatest of days. In fact, if you look at Psalm 142, which is going to be the basis of my comments, you see phrases like this: "I cry out unto the Lord," verse 1. "I pour out my complaint," verse 2. Verse 3, "My spirit was overwhelmed within me." Verse 4, "There is no one who acknowledges me." Verse 5, "I cried out to you, O Lord." Verse 6, "I am brought very low. Deliver me from my persecutors." You see, the context of this particular psalm, though it's only 7 verses, the psalm is a very powerful psalm, and the context, at least according even to the inscription, says that it's a contemplation of David, and it was a prayer while he was in the cave. Now, it very well could be that that is the cave of Adullam that is mentioned in 1 Samuel 22. And if that is the case, then we have the context of Saul and his increasing envy of David as Saul is declining and David's been anointed the new king and he's on the rise, we would say. Then we can understand as the enemies of David begin to follow after him and to try to seek to do him harm. Here he is in a cave, and he is just absolutely greatly distressed, pouring out his soul to God. Because from a human perspective, he sees no human help around him. In fact, David makes this statement in Psalm 142. I'm going to read verse 4, where it says, "Look on my right hand and see, for there is no one who acknowledges me. Refuge has failed me. No one cares for my soul." You know, one of the saddest statements in all of the Bible to me is that statement, the last phrase of verse 4, where David says, "No one cares for my soul." Can you relate to that situation? Have you ever found yourself in a situation where it just seems like everything's crumbling, nothing is going right, no matter how hard you try? The walls are closing in, and you just begin to think, well, there's nobody's here trying to help me. Nobody understands the situation that I'm in. You're in a situation where you can be in a crowd of people and yet be absolutely lonely and desperate. Now, it doesn't look that way here, but inside, that's where you're at. Have you ever felt like David, that no one cared for your soul? Let me make a third point and ask another question. Have you thought about the fact that maybe there's someone around you who is saying at this very moment, they're looking around, seeking help? David says, "I looked to my right and to my left. There was no one there to help me. No one cared for my soul." And let me be a little more specific on who that might be. Maybe it's somebody within your sphere of influence that would be among your family members. Maybe it's your spouse. Maybe it's your children. Do your children know that you care for their soul? Maybe it's a sibling of yours. or a parent or a grandparent? Do they know that you care for their soul? Or outside the physical family, let's go to the spiritual family. Maybe it's a brother or sister in Christ. Maybe it's the person sitting at the other end of the pew from where you typically sit. And because nobody has taken the time to get to know them and maybe understand some things that are going on in their life, they're sitting there in desperation saying, no one cares for my soul. Maybe it's that next door neighbor that you have who might have been diagnosed with some terrible disease. And they're trying to put a good face forward, or a good foot forward, and put on a good face and, act like everything's okay, but deep down they say nobody really cares. Maybe it's that coworker that you have, that you see going around wherever you work, be it the office or some aspect of your workplace, and it seems like everything's okay, but deep down they're suffering because they think that nobody cares for their soul. And you see, we could develop that list very quickly, very easily. But here's what I want you really to take away from Psalm 142 and verse 4. We can begin to understand David's plight and his situation. We can certainly relate to that because all of us have faced situations where we felt that nobody cared. There are people all around us who feel that nobody cares for their soul. So what are we going to do about that? I'm also looking at James chapter 2, and just real briefly, I'm going to read a few verses from James chapter 2. What does it profit, my brethren? I'm looking at verse 14, by the way. What does it profit, my brethren, if someone says he has faith, but does not have works? Can faith save him? If a brother or sister is naked and destitute of daily food, and one of you says to them, depart in peace, be warmed and filled, but you do not give them the things which are needed for the body, what does it profit? Thus also faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead. Someone will say, you have faith and I have works. And then listen to James's statement. Show me your faith without your works, and I will show you my faith by my works. Brothers and sisters, there are people all around us, and maybe we ourselves are in the position to think that nobody cares for our soul. Look around, look beyond ourselves. See if we can get to know people a little bit better. Find out what's going on in their lives. I don't mean in a busybody sense, but out of genuine concern. And then let our faith be seen in the things that we do with them and for them. The statements of encouragement, the pat on the back, the praise for a job well done, appreciation for something that they did. Let them know that you care, not just for them physically, not just for what they can do for you, but you genuinely care for and are concerned about their soul. And God will use those as open doors to be able to teach somebody the gospel, which is the ultimate way that we can show someone that we care for their soul. If you'd like, subscribe to the channel. You can reach down and click on the blue Psalm 19 in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. If you don't want to subscribe, at least share the video. Let somebody else hear some of these comments, and maybe they will do better in helping to show their concern for the souls of other people. Thanks for listening today. I hope you have a great day, and thank you for this opportunity. Talk to you soon.